Our discussions today explore consciousness, the very essence of our awareness, sense of identity, and the nature of reality. What if consciousness is not something we have, but something we are? What if it is not a product of the brain, but the very foundation of existence itself? Many thought leaders across disciplines, physics, neuroscience, and philosophy are converging on an inspiring possibility: that consciousness has not emerged from matter, but that matter has emerged from consciousness. That our own consciousness does not arise from neurons, but from a universal consciousness inherent in everything. These ideas are not new. Quantum science is providing new technologies and new language to describe long-held understandings of many ancestral traditions, from the Vedic concept of universal awareness to Indigenous knowledges of inherent interconnectedness between the material and the spiritual. These diverse traditions share common threads, that nothing is truly separate and that all being is grounded in consciousness. This challenges the centuries-old paradigm of scientific materialism, a worldview rooted in Newtonian physics, which has tended to see the universe as a machine, life as accidental, and consciousness as an anomaly in an otherwise unconscious cosmos. But as we step further into the quantum era and transcend the limits of reductionist worldviews, a new picture is emerging. Physicist and inventor Federico Fagin describes consciousness as the generative source of all reality, not confined by space, time, or the physical world, but infinite, non-local, and creative. Fagin's theory of quantum information panpsychism proposes that matter takes form from consciousness, and what we perceive as physical reality is the crystallization of shared consciousness into structured experience. By placing consciousness at the core of quantum physics, he invites us to reconsider what we truly are, not biological machines, but beings of light, navigating a reality in which mind and matter are inextricably entwined. Philosopher and computer scientist Bernardo Kastrup, through his work in analytic idealism, proposes a single universal consciousness, with individual awareness as aspects of this unified field. He suggests that consciousness is the only intrinsic reality, and that the physical world is a dynamic expression of this underlying consciousness rather than a separate entity. From these perspectives, the universe is not a collection of separate objects. It's a unified whole, expressing itself through multiplicity, a fractal holographic reality in which each part reflects the whole. From this quantum field of possibility, forms arise not randomly, but in patterned, intelligent, even purposeful ways. In essence, we are the universe, experiencing itself through all its fractal parts. Not only does this open new frontiers for science, it opens a doorway for human transformation. Because if we can live in the awareness that we are part of the same consciousness, it will change how we see and treat each other and our planet. It brings new meaning to the ancestral perspectives that remind us to harm the earth, to harm each other, is to harm the self. In this light, planetary health becomes more than a biological or an ecological concern. It becomes a spiritual imperative. This shift in awareness has the power to cultivate planetary consciousness and a culture of connection, offering a new foundation for global flourishing, one rooted in love, mutual respect, reciprocity and reverence for life, displacing the worldviews of domination and control that have thrived under materialistic reductionism. Our journey through science remains invaluable, and it will continue to transform our understanding of the universe. But we must also reach beyond existing paradigms to explore new frontiers. Willingness to engage with deeper dimensions of inquiry will expand our capacity to access solutions that already exist within a timeless field of intelligence, and the wisdom to guide more responsible action. Quantum physicist John Wheeler suggested that if the universe had an intention, it would be to know itself, and that through our consciousness, indeed all consciousness, the universe is experiencing its own existence. As we come to see that nothing is truly separate and that we are all part of a participatory universe, we begin to understand that we are not just observers, but active shapers of its reality. Consciousness expressing itself through form, exploring itself through relationship, and delighting in its own becoming. And if we can learn to see that we're not separate in life or in death, we might live more fully, with more joy, less fear, and a deeper sense of belonging. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our wonderful panelists. Each will speak for around 7 or 8 minutes, and I encourage you to explore their bios in the chat link to maximise their time. First, I'm delighted to welcome James Glatfelder, whose work bridges physics, philosophy, and complexity science. He will share insights from his latest book, The Sapient Cosmos, which invites a holistic understanding of reality that unites scientific inquiry and spiritual perspectives on meaning, awareness, and human interconnectedness. Thank you and welcome, James.